And that was music to start the hour from the Pet Shop Boys and Dusty Springfield from the year 1987. What have I done to deserve this? Well, young man in front of us is Kevin Keyes from Edenderry. He was not alive when that song was written. He wasn't alive when that song came out. Probably wasn't even alive when that song went gold or platinum. But he's here in studio with us along with his dad, Ron. Good evening to you, lads.
How are you?
Kevin, to come across to you first on this one, my congratulations on your win. Tell us about it last month. You wrapped up the championship with a few races to go.
Yeah, thanks very much. We just progressed through the season easily to this year, and big step this year from 125 to 600 straight away. So it was a big step. We just took every race as it come without even expecting to take a race win this year. So we were delighted to take the championship with 3 rounds left. So this year, so we were delighted.
If you look back honestly, you say you didn't expect to win a race. Was that your feeling going into the championship, or was that just the expectation on you?
I didn't feel I was going to take a win, but I wasn't going to give up easy this year. I don't tend to give up, but the aspiration this year was just to go out, have fun, learn the new bike, learn new lines for the bike, just basically a learning year this year.
Well, at 16 years of age, I suppose it's very young, particularly to be on a 600cc bike. How old are the guys that you're up against?
It's ranging from me, 16, I only turned 16 2 weeks before the first race, so I only barely scraped the age mark, so it's gone right up to any age really. From 16 you can be average up to nearly, what would it be, 30, 40.
Oh, yeah, well.
Does that put any pressure on you when you go in? Because, I mean, you're this fresh-faced young lad when you take the helmet off compared to guys who've probably been doing this for a while.
Yeah, it does leave pressure on you, like just saying like you're young, you're new, you're on the bike this year for the first time, like it leaves all that in your mind, but at the same time we're all out to go get the same place, we're all out to get the win, like so.
Ron, did you have any reservations about sending your kid onto a high-powered bike this year? Because 125 to 600, as he said himself, is quite a jump to make in a year.
Yeah, it was a big step, all right, but it'd still be nervous, but I knew he was capable of riding it. I knew he had the ability to ride it, and I just says, why not? Just stick him on it and see how it goes.
Well, especially if you've been going well at 125 before, and it shows that you can live at a certain level. But as Kevin said himself, like it's a massive step up to go from there with not a whole lot of expectation to winning a championship with 3 races to go.
Yeah, true, but he's always surprised me. Every time we make a move from one class to another, he just seems to be able to sit on a bike and ride it. It just seems to come natural to him. So we just said we'd try him on a 600 and see how he goes, and he surprised us all right from the very first meeting. He went out and he took the race win, and he's just kept going stronger and stronger and faster ever since. Every time he sits on it, he's getting faster.
Well, it's great to win a championship at 600cc. I mean, when he started off, was he a young lad who was always on BMXs and probably trying to race different things?
Yeah, he started off, his first bike was a little mini scrambler, and he got that when he was 2, just 3 months before he turned 3, and he rode it straight away, and we went from that to little mini motors, and he was only 6 years of age when he had his first race on them, so we've never stopped. We just started off as family fun, and it's just still going on today. We just keep going.
Would have been a background in motorsport within your family? Or?
No, none. I just liked bikes, rode them on the road, and Kevin took up the passion as a child for motorbikes and never stopped. We went to races together when he was a child, and I even used to bring him to Mondello Park, and he'd look out on the track and he'd just tell me, Daddy, someday I'll race here. And I'd laugh at him thinking, yeah, of course you will.
Was that what the motivation came from, Kevin, just watching these guys? Because, Superbike's obviously on telly a lot probably when you were young. Is that kind of going to Mondello and that kind of stuff where the dream came from?
Yeah, I knew I liked bikes from day one nearly, because as Dad said there, I used to go to them all the time with them, and I just used to look out and think that's what I want to do, like, and looking on television then with all the, like, Valentino Rossi and all my idols, just want to be there, just want to get to that stage, and as I am now, I'm just trying to slowly build myself to that stage now, like, so.
Was there any fear from your point of view? Because, I mean, you're still a bit away probably from being able to get your driving licence for a car, but yet you've been on bikes for quite a while at this stage. I mean, it's not the average teenager who feels that he can get on and corner so close to the ground on these machines and stuff. I mean, it's a dangerous sport.
Yeah, like, don't get me wrong, there is always that fear there, but just when you get on the bike and you get on the line and all, you get the butterflies, but as them lights go out there and everything just disappears and you're into the focus mode, and you just want it as much as everyone else in the grid. If not, I want it more, like, and I just try and push myself to my limit and hold constant ground that race, and if I can, make pace and make moves wherever I can to get to the top, you know.
Well, look, we see 17-year-olds going out into Formula 1 cars now at the moment, which I never thought I would ever see happen. We see 16-year-olds now on 600cc bikes. I mean, with the progression you've made, what's the ultimate aim for you? Is this something you see as a professional career, or will it be a hobby?
Well, I'd hopefully like to say a professional career, like in the next few years, maybe jump that stage. Like, as last year, we got that chance to go up to Spain to try out for the Red Bull rookies for the MotoGP, so we went there and I tried my best, but unfortunately didn't get picked to go through to the final event, like, so. But instead of going there, we have to try and make it there our own way now, so we're slowly and surely getting there, as we say. Like, first year in the 600, jumping to a championship was a big surprise to nearly everyone, like, so I'm trying my best at the moment.
Well, Ron, this is where the sensible dad can come in on this one. Of course, the leaving cert is coming up, and there has to be a consideration to that as much as cycling.
Oh yeah, he has to get his schooling as well. He can't depend on bikes. He has to have something to fall back on. But he's doing well in school anyway, and so far we're happy enough. It's not slipping, it's not sliding around.
Yeah.
He's doing what he has to.
Yeah, it's not to slide on the bike either. But you're in school. You in Oakland's Edenderry?
Yeah, Oakland Community College there in Edenderry, so it's a local.
When the leaving cert does come around, is that going to put any pressure on you in terms of having to balance the time, or as Dad said, you're doing fairly all right in school as it is?
I just try not to miss as much school as possible. Like, just make sure when if I do miss, just make sure I catch up and stuff and do as much as I can to keep on top of both things. You know, it's not easy, but I have to make do with it if I want to keep going. You know.
Well, your idols have no doubt come off bikes from time to time. Have you picked up any injuries in your time so far?
Well, I've come off once or twice myself, like, but as luckily enough, all I have so far is broke my wrist, and that was good. We got just 2 or 3 weeks out of that, and I just had to get back on the bike. So we got just done fitness for my wrist and that, and just got back on the bike.
No reservations at all when you come back? Like, it didn't put you off? Because I look, a footballer could break his leg playing football or any other sport, but for you it was just straight back onto the bike, no problem? Just
straight back on, as I said. Some people say, oh, I crashed and I take it when I get my confidence back, but I look at it as, if you let a crash fear you, it's going to fear you all the time. It's going to take you ages to come back, so I just try and say to myself, right, that was a crash, big deal, get back on and go again.
Well, I said you're coming close probably to the age to be looking at a provisional licence, but is there a chance you might like to just ride motorbikes in your spare time rather than a car, just stay on the bike all the time?
No, I don't.
Still like to get a car?
Get a car. Bikes on the road are too dangerous. Like, just see all these people now, as people say, it's not you, it's what you're meeting.
Yeah, well, that's true too. And I suppose, would that frustrate you as well? Like, when you're doing this at a high level, say you see guys who are on motorbikes, say, stupidly on the road, that probably annoys you, I would think.
It doesn't really. Like, I just want to make sure, like, everyone on a bike is, nearly everyone that has a bike is a close bond. So I just want to make sure, like, everyone gets home safe on their bike or comes back safe on the bike. Like, just biking is dangerous as it is without being silly. Like, so just try and keep cop on.
Well, we mentioned at the outset, I suppose, the fact that you're going up against older guys and whatever else. Do they look after you all the same, though, when they say, right, there's a young lad here involved in these races too? Like, are they there as a support mechanism? Because I'd imagine you meet a lot of the same guys at championship events.
Yeah, but like, they are when you're in the paddock, but when you're out in the track, then it's a different story. It's all, everyone's hell for leather. Let's say, like, your best friends on track, off track, or your worst enemies on the track, you know, so it's, if you try and take it easy and someone you think is friends in the paddock on track, then you're not doing that for yourself, you're just basically giving away stuff.
Ron, how proud are you of how the son has done so far? Because I mean, I'd imagine this must be huge for the family.
Oh, I'm extremely proud of him. Just keeps amazing us all the time.
Yeah.
Couldn't be more proud of him now.
What are you hoping for him in the future in terms of this? Because, look, as he said himself, you know, professional will be great, but is there a hope for you as well that he could someday be emulating the types of Valentino Rossi, even if it's a few levels below that?
No, I'd love to see him doing well. I'd like to see his dreams coming true, and you know, he's heading the right direction so far. And hopefully it will come true for him. He will someday be doing this for work.
Yeah, it's a remarkable question. I know you brought in a series of pictures as well, and the listeners will have to try and explain it, but it's interesting. The one at the very front, the helmet is almost as big as the bike on that mini bike. I mean, that must be some progression to see in front of your eyes, to see, you know, a young lad getting onto the smallest motorbike I can probably ever see in my life, to going onto these kind of high class machines now at 16.
Yeah, he's went through all the stages now, and it was probably the right way to go. Even though they look small bikes and it looks like fun racing, he's learnt his racecraft from a real young age, and he just, when we brought him to clubman level, then he carried it onto the bigger bikes, and he was able to. He had the racecraft straight away. He didn't have to learn how to race. Once he got there, he had that advantage from day one.
Kevin, what's the hope for you for the coming year? I mean, I'm sure you're going to enjoy the Christmas and everything, but what's the hope for 2015?
Well, just I said there's one race I have to go after Sunflower up the north, so just get that out of the way, get the bikes all back one piece, and then just focus for the winter. Then just get down to training, get down to just keeping myself in as physical best form I can keep myself in, keeping fitness high, and then coming into 2015, then we're getting bumped to Supersport Pro next year, so that's going to be even tougher. So I'm just going to get myself mentally and physically fit for this next season.
You speak about being physically fit. Are you playing other sports as well, or is it gym work for you, or what's your way of staying fit?
There's no sports that's involved that have to be at time, so it's just basically home fitness, just in the little gym that we have out in the back shed, just trying to keep everything perfect, like with the fitness, keeping weight down, keeping my mind physically fit and ready to go.
And that's dedication in of itself as well, because it's maybe easier for guys to say bounce off another team member, or we'll all go to the gym at the one time, as compared to you at home. You have to be very kind of personally disciplined to make sure you go.
Yeah, as to say, training is hard. Like, I have to make sure I push myself as hard as I would in training as I would in the track, because there's no point cheating. If you're cheating at home, you're not going to get the results you want in track.
Yeah. Well, Edenderry footballers are out tomorrow. Do you have any great interest in how they get on against Road? Will you be cheering them on? Or?
We'll be rooting for them, okay?
Wishing them well. It seems to me, I was just looking at some of the pictures on Twitter, like they've got a big club shop open in the middle of town. There seems to be a lot of red and white, a real kind of excitement building at the moment.
There's a go around the town tomorrow now, alright?
Well, we'll see what the go is like in around 24 hours' time, when people are probably arriving at home from O'Connor Park. Lads, thanks a million for coming in. It's been great to hear your story.
Thanks, and look,
the very best luck with the last race of the season and with the bump up again next year.
Yes, thanks very much. I'd just like to give a big thanks first of all to the team DC Racing of Dennis Clancy. A huge thanks for my man Dan and my little sister for keeping everyone on top and keeping me on the track as much as possible. So, and just without them I wouldn't be here on the track or even sitting talking about where I am today. So.
Well, look,